With the new update for Gran Turismo 7 around the corner, it's time I give my final review on update 1.55, and I'm going to be brutally honest. So starting off, we're going to go over my favorite car from the updates, and that is the Gran Turismo 3500A. This car, well, this race car, F1 inspired vehicle, is absolutely amazing. The way the vehicle handles, the way it performs is just purely incredible. This car will set you back 1 million credits. Now 1 million credits for this vehicle is a really good price. When we look at something similar to this, well, those are going to set you back a lot of money. So for 1 million credits, the performance you get out of it is just so good. The acceleration is incredible. The downforce it produces is more than enough to take corners completely flat out without the fear of you worrying, hey, I'm going to end up in a barrier. This car, well, this racer is so incredible. And something else that I love about it, we can use it for money grinding. Yes, you can use this vehicle around the WTC 800 around Sardinia, and you can make your money back. You can earn back the money you spent on this vehicle, therefore making it a profitable vehicle. It is a great choice, and I see no reason as why you should not try this vehicle out. Feel what it's like, because this is unlike any road car you can drive. Use the fact of, once again, this is a proper race car. So with that being said, let's move on over to the next car. Next up, we have the Honda Civic Si Extra EF generation. So this car here, I'll be honest with you, it's okay. And the fact that my second favorite vehicle, I'm saying, is just okay, really sets the tone for this month's vehicles. So this car is, look, performance wise, it's fine, it's good, it's decent. This car is actually engine swapped with the engine out of the Honda Integra, so it does have a bit more power than a standard engine. And this vehicle is a good example of that. You don't need 1,000 horsepower to have fun. You can drive a vehicle that isn't really that powerful and still have fun with it. This vehicle is so fun. Yes, it does have understeer with it being front wheel drive. So if you look past that though, this car is just really good to drive. Then you start looking at the interior cam, and it's just so well put together. But I mean, so is every car in Gran Turismo 7. The vehicle also has a decent amount of customization options to pick from. So this vehicle, look, I say if it had the K20 swap engine, if it had the K20 engine out of the new Civic, it would have been a bit too much power for this Honda. So the engine swap was a good choice. So yeah, the standard engine itself, fully upgraded, still produces a decent amount of power, a decent amount of performance. So when it comes to lap times, look, you aren't going to be setting the fastest of lap times, but you are just going to be improving it. And for the Civic fanboys who have been demanding this vehicle, well, it's here, and I hope you're having fun with it, because look, it's not the greatest car I've ever experienced, but it's not bad. It's not terrible at all, unlike one of the cars on this list. But hey, the next one we're going to look at is not that car, Ioniq 5N. This vehicle, as you can see, has the craziest aero downforce parts added to the game, I think, ever. Because just look at this. I'm gonna stop, because you need to take a look at the massive rear wing. We have the massive front splitter, and this is just absolutely insane. The reason for this is actually made to look like the Pikes Peak version of this vehicle. But when I tell you, I was so let down by this vehicle. When I drove it standard, I did not enjoy it at all. I will not recommend you driving a vehicle stock, because it is so just dry and uneventful. It's not that good standard. I drove it and I was just like, okay, whoa, this is not what I was expecting, and I didn't like any moments of it. However, once I threw some money at it, it became a lot better. But the thing is, even though it became a lot better, it's still not that great. It's still not the best thing out there. Look, the interior, fun. It looks great. The exterior, the customization options it has for it. But the performance is the main part that just lets me down. Yes, it is all electric, which I know for a lot of people is an absolute deal breaker, but it's not that bad. Look, even when it comes to going off-road, it handles it quite well. I enjoyed my time with it. Look, when it comes to money grinding in this car, don't waste your time. With electric cars in Gran Turismo 7, money grinding and electric cars do not mix. They do not go together due to the fact of they just deplete their battery so quickly that every pit stop you have to go in and just recharge. So it makes them kind of pointless when it comes to using them for money grinding. But hey, look, the vehicle around Kyoto Driving Park still sets decently quick lap times. But if it had to come up to a race and I had to pick a vehicle, I don't really think that the Hyundai Ioniq 5N is gonna be my go-to choice. But I mean, look, that's just my complete honest opinion, because look, the vehicle, it's okay. The braking's not the best, the acceleration's not the best. The car itself just is not, it's not the best thing out there. So that's why I gotta put it third on the list of the cars that came out with update 1.55. And then now we have to go to a car that is the bane of my existence. The way this car grated me, this update. This is the Toyota CHRS. And I absolutely hate this car with every single bone in my body. This car is the bane of my existence due to the fact that this car, fully upgraded, produces 175 brake horsepower. I think it has a CVT transmission if I'm not mistaken. So even though it has a petrol engine, the car does not have a manual gearbox. You cannot manually change gears, and due to that the car feels lethargic. It doesn't want to go. Look, you can take corners completely flat out. You want to know why? Because that's how slow the car is. There's no oomph, there's no power, there's no anything. I struggle to find a redeeming factor with this car. This may be one of the worst cars added to Gran Turismo 7. Look, the car is extremely lightweight, coming in at I think it's 1,130 kgs. So it has potential at being a fast vehicle, but due to the fact of its transmission and the fact that it only produces like 170 horsepower, it's so slow. The car shouldn't be able to be this slow. I think honestly, the Daihatsu little pickup truck, or whatever the little pickup truck that we're getting now with the next update, is gonna be so much faster than this. This car really put a new definition of slow into my book, because a car that is fully upgraded in Gran Turismo 7 should not be doing a lap time around the 2-minute mark around Kyoto Driving Park, which is just an absolute problem. This is something that should not be happening. If you like this car, please let me know in the comment section why has this car been like, oh, it's quite fun. I see no fun in this. I struggle to see it. So I would really appreciate it if you could tell me where the fun is had. Genuinely. But then look, if we look past that, we always have the engine swap. So this month we received 9 engine swaps, and when it comes to engine swaps, none of them were that good. I'll be honest with you, none of the engine swaps are so okay. There's a lot of reusability in them. But one car that really stood out to me was this. This is the Subaru WRX. Now this car received the engine swap from the Porsche 911 Turbo S, one of the fastest Porsches in the game, and this car, now fully upgraded, produces over 1,000 horsepower. It's extremely lightweight, 4-wheel drive system. It's so good on whatever surface you want to take it around, whether you want to go circuit racing, off-roading, whether you want to do drag racing, drifting. The Subaru can do it all, and that's why I can say out of this update, this is my favorite addition. This is my favorite thing added with update 1.55. We also saw the Porsche 911 GT3 RS received a 992 Turbo S engine. So essentially we can now make the Porsche 911 GT2 RS. And when I tell you, this combination is absolutely deadly, because now we have the downforce of the GT3 RS, but we have the power of the Turbo S, which means it's the best of both worlds. It's the perfect combination, making the best 992 Porsche that you can own. And this vehicle sets incredibly fast lap times, and it's just such an incredible vehicle, making it the best Porsche that you can own in Gran Turismo 7. There, I said it. I will take this Porsche over any other Porsche you have to offer. This is truly an incredible vehicle, because look, the Porsche itself, I think it's 350,000 credits brand new. Then the engine swap is 200,000 credits or so. It's something extremely affordable. I may be getting the numbers wrong, which I do apologize about. But this Porsche 911 GT3 RS is so good. It's so much fun, yo. But once again, I'm still gonna go back to the Subaru, because honestly, yes, the Porsche is fast around the circuit, but the Subaru just outpaces it, because, or just nudges it out, because the Subaru is fast on-road, off-road, drifting, drag racing, whereas the GT3 RS was really only made for going fast around the circuit, so it's kinda limited. But then if we take a look at the under engine swaps we have things like this. This is a Renault R8 Gordini. Now this car can actually receive the engine from the it can receive an SR20 from the Nissan Silvia S15. And with that there, the car produces a lot more power than standard, and really just makes the vehicle feel so alive. This, okay, I think it was, this is not a good display, but the Alpine A110, this and the Renault R5 could all receive the engine swap from the SR20. Yeah, they all received the SR20, and it made them a lot better. Like this, but better. The Alpine A110, honestly, I didn't really enjoy it that much. I much preferred the R8 Gordini with the engine swap, and then the Renault R5. I didn't even test it. I know. This is what I do for a living. I didn't even test the car. But the fact is, none of the engine swaps this month added a vehicle that is gonna really change, or is gonna be a new meta vehicle, except for one, because we cannot forget that this month we saw the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 8 receive an engine swap from the Group B Evo 10, making this a good example of a money grinding vehicle, because we can now upgrade it to 700 performance points and use around the WTC 700 around Le Mans, which is a good go-to event for money grinding in the game. Now look, lap time wise, you are going to be setting lap times around the 4-minute 12-second mark, which isn't the fastest thing, but it's more than capable of running rings around opponents. So it does that extremely well due to the fact of with it having a race car engine, it is extremely light on fuel. The fuel consumption on it sips the fuel, it doesn't guzzle, unlike the other engine swap for this car, which is the BRZ LS7, which is an absolute guzzler. So this car is great, however I just struggle to find a good tune that doesn't have a lot of understeer. This car has so much understeer. With it having 4-wheel drive, the vehicle just pushes forward when you are trying to turn, so it kind of kills the handling in my opinion. So I'm not really that much of a fan of the Evo, but look, hey, it's still good and money grinding, so you can't really hate on this car that much. Then for events, well, we saw 3 events being around Kyoto Driving Park. This event is a very beginner level event, so for all the people who are just starting out Gran Turismo 7, this is a perfect event for you. However, when you have people who have finished the game for years now, it's not the most competitive event, but they needed to put an event that the Toyota CHRS was gonna be good at, and well, this was it. Then we had a 3-lap event around Sardinia Road Track C. This is now using Japanese front wheel drive cars. It's a 450 performance points event, but there's no cap on it, so you can jump into whatever vehicle you like. But this event, it's okay. It's okay. The thing is about the events that they add, there's no real need to really jump back into the events unless you really like the circuit and the layout. But honestly, if you really like the events, I'm sure you can tweak it by making a custom race and still earn a lot more money, because for first place you are gonna receive 25,000 credits, which is it's not a lot, but look, I won't say no to 25,000 credits, you know what I'm saying? Then we had a WTC 600 around the Autodromo de Interlagos, and this is a fun event. When the cars are all restricted to 600 performance points, you can have so much fun, and this is, out of the new events added, the best event in my opinion. I mean, you're starting off in 16th position, so you do have a lot of work and you just need to keep pushing. And I mean, look, you're gonna get 90,000 credits at the end of it if you don't get a clean race bonus. So if somehow you get a clean race bonus, you're gonna be over 100,000 credits. So for 5 laps, not that bad, and therefore making it the best event added with update 1.55. Now, update 1.55 wasn't just all about additions, because we saw a ton of improvements, whether it was controller, steering wheel adjustments, but a lot of physics, actual handling of the cars got changed. But the biggest pain was the fact that with them adjusting the system, they adjusted the performance settings of a lot of the cars, so you have to go in and retune some of the vehicles, making them slower. So hey, look, update 1.55 in my opinion was not the best update. 2 starts of the year, the first update of 2025, it's not really setting a good tone for this year. And after seeing what we're getting now with the February updates, we're really not starting the first quarter off the best. But hey, look, we're just gonna have to wait and see. Out of 10, I'm gonna give this update a solid 6 out of 10. It's not the worst thing I've ever experienced, but it's not the best. So I think a 6 is it's fair, you know. But look, with this being said, let me know your thoughts and opinions of this update. Did you have fun with it? Look, I did have quite a lot of fun with it. but it's just not up there with one of the best updates added to Gran Turismo 7. So with this being said, thank you so much for watching, thank you so much for your time, and I will see you guys in the new updates.